Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. What we've got in front of us is the Tekno MT410, long regarded as one of the best and maybe even the best monster truck out on the market today. It is a 1/10 scale electric four-wheel drive monster truck. Comes as a kit, so you will have to provide all your own electronics, wheels and tires, as well as a body. Now I picked mine up from Euro RC, so definitely check them out. We got a 5% off coupon code, €3 shipping all across Europe, so definitely a good place to consider picking up the Tekno. I've owned several Teknos in the past, all in the 1/10 scale size, and Tekno considers this to be a 1/10 scale monster truck, but what it really is a ET48.3, like 1/8 scale truggy. So it's got the long arms, the super beefy drivetrain, and then it's all bolted onto a short course truck chassis, which comes from the SET410.3. So it's really closer to like a stunt truck, like an Outcast or Notorious, but it's got the 13-inch long wheelbase and then the really long arms and wheels. Now this kit sells for $450 here in the United States. Its main competitors are going to be things like the Traxxas Max, which is a 4S monster truck, the Kraton 4S from Arma, the Red Cat Kaiju, which is about the same size. So I consider these to be middleweight monster trucks, 4S capable, about 12.8, 12.9 inch wheelbase, and then approximately this size four-wheel drive monster truck. So for this review, we'll be rating it in 6 different categories, giving it a rating from 1 to 5 stars, and that is graded on a curve. So 3 stars would be average as compared to other vehicles in its class. 5 stars would mean top of class, and 1 star would be really, really poor. For my particular kit, we are running Arma 4S electronics. So these are straight out of an Arma Kraton 4S. So I picked them up on eBay for about $130 for the motor and ESC. Servo wise, I'm just running like a basic 35 kilogram servo from Amazon. Cost me about $35. Wheels and tires wise, I'm running the backflip LPs from D-Boots. So these are the stock tires on like a Outcast 4S. I'm running a Proline C10 body, so this is the one I think for the E-Revo, so it's really the longer wheelbase version. And then battery wise, I'm running a Genzace 5000 milliamp hour battery. So that's what I've got going on in my particular kit, and yeah, so let's get on to the review. So first off is the build, and this is one of the very few monster truck kits that are available on the market. So the main competitors, the Max, the Kraton, the Kaiju, all come as ready to run vehicles. Proline used to make a Pro MT 4x4, which was a kit, but I think it's now been discontinued. So really one of the very few kits left on the market today that comes as a kit that you have to assemble yourself. So in terms of the build, really good build. I do have a full review on how the build went. Everything went together perfectly, no real issues. I did modify my setup a little bit from the kit setup. They do recommend like 100K diff fluid in the front, middle, and then I think 50K in the rear. I did drop that down to 120. So if you are building this kit, I would recommend lighter weight diff fluids. I think the stock diff fluids are a little bit heavy and don't allow it to drive quite as well. But yeah, overall the kit went together really nicely. Easy to put together, no real hard parts or anything. I think even if you're not that familiar with building kits, but you have some experience with RC cars, you could build this probably as your first RC car. There's nothing really difficult or anything like that. So yeah, overall the build went really well, just went flawlessly. I give it a full 5 stars in the build category. Excellent overall. As mentioned in the introduction, this is basically a 1/8 scale truggy, the ET48.3 shrunk down onto a short course truck chassis. So it is a full race kit build. Everything on this vehicle is full race, has all the adjustments, all the ease of maintenance that you would expect, all the durability, high quality components. So looking from the front end, you've got the easy access disc, you got the super beefy arms, you got the 16mm shocks with adjustable pistons, you've got a lot of different locations for shock mounting, for camber link adjustments, you got full metal drive shafts, adjustable turnbuckles, aluminum Ackerman plate with multiple positions, you got an integrated servo saver. Down the chassis, again, you have like the classic Tekno style. So Tekno is really big on kind of mass centralizing all their electronics, having really narrow chassis, getting everything all kind of crammed all together and as compact as possible. That's why the chassis is kind of like this thin little lightweight aluminum piece with the plastic sides. Has kind of optimal flex to give you a little more traction. And then in the rear end, all the same components, the 60mm aluminum shocks, sway bars, integrated bumper, camber link adjustments, aluminum stub axle. So this is a full-on race kit. Design-wise, I think this is class leading. There is really no other monster truck out there in the middleweight category that is anything like this. This is a full-on race kit disguised as a basher, and so for the design category, I'm going to give it a full 5 stars. It's awesome. Performance-wise, I kind of rate this in a bunch of different areas. We're talking about acceleration and braking, handling, performance in the air, jumping and landing. And then because it's pretty much a stunt truck, it's a basher monster truck style, how well does it rotate in the air? And this thing is phenomenal. The best handling, best driving monster truck I've ever driven. Obviously, it's a little bit different than other vehicles out there because it's got the short wheelbase. It's designed a little bit more for flips and tricks in the air. But with all these adjustments that you can make, you can kind of tune it to the way you like. So I have it tuned a little more towards like a more stable wheelbase type of vehicle. But in terms of acceleration, I mean, the thing puts the power down really, really well, and all the tuning of this thing out of the box is really, really good. I do think there are some adjustments you need to make on the steering side to get it to drive a little bit better, but even out of the box with that super thick diff fluids, this thing is the best driving monster truck I've ever owned. Shocks are amazing. This thing lands super, super plush on the ground over rough terrain. It drives really, really well. And even if you send it like 30 feet in the air, do the triple backflips and land on flat ground, it still soaks up that bumps. It doesn't bounce off the ground, and there's not much chassis slap. It's super balanced front to rear. And kind of the last area that I think a lot of people don't really notice, but if you're familiar with more race kits, you'll notice how well this thing drives in terms of like precision and response. So it goes exactly where you think it's going to go. There's no slop in the drivetrain, no slop in the steering. It's very, very, very precise vehicle. That's kind of the best way I could describe it. A lot different than other monster truck bashers out there, which are kind of sloppy, a little vague, and don't really go necessarily where you think they're going to go. So in the performance category, this is really the best monster truck on the market. I'm going to give it a full 5 stars. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Again, Tekno kills it in this category. Now, the other big area for a basher is durability. That's an area that most people are super, super concerned about. When you launch this in the air, when you crash it, when you're doing cartwheels, when you jump 20 feet over a tree or whatever, is this thing going to survive? And I am pleased to say that this is extremely, extremely durable. I've done a lot of really bad crashes with this thing on the front bumper, rear bumper, on the roof, cartwheels, landing on one corner, whatever. This thing has been a tank. Tekno has this reputation for being super durable. A lot of people call them Tankno because they are super durable tanks in essence. This thing is amazing. The only thing I've really broken is I bent a couple screws on the rear bumper here just from a massive landing right there on the back end, but the plastics didn't even break. These don't look like super beefy or thick, but even though these are like 10 scale bumpers, they've been holding it really, really well. No problems with the body mounts, no problems with the shock towers, no problem with these massive arms. All the steel that they use is super high quality. The discs have been holding up. So in the durability category, this again gets full marks, 5 stars. Really one of the most durable vehicles on the market today, RTR or kit wise. Tekno's a little bit of a smaller brand as compared to something like Arma or Traxxas, but at least here in the United States, pretty easy to get parts. Your RC also does carry a full range of parts for this, and for the most part, things tend to be in stock, so you don't really have too many issues with the supply chain and having parts be out of stock for months on end as compared to something like an Arma that oftentimes actually can be difficult to get parts. So while your local hobby store may not carry Tekno stuff, there are a lot of online shops, and then racetracks oftentimes carry Tekno parts because it is a little bit more of a race brand, and then you can always go buy stuff from Tekno directly. So in the support and maintenance category, parts wise, support wise, I think it's average. I'd give it 3 stars there. Maintenance wise, it's actually really, really easy to work on this truck. Everything is out in the open, quick access diffs, but really not that much better than I think other vehicles out there. So in the support and maintenance category, I'm going to give it 3 stars. A solid and sort of comfortable average rating. The MT410 sells for $450 here in the United States. Other competitors to this vehicle are like the Max, which is $550. Creighton Forest is $400. Something like Kaiju is also $400. So it's a little bit pricier than those cheaper ones, which are RTR vehicles. They do come with electronics. Now my particular kit, $450. I spent about $200 on the electronics for the motor, ESC, and servo. And then you're going to need to buy wheels and tires, so about another $100 there, plus the body. So all in all, this is probably about a $750 kit, maybe if you have a radio already. That's obviously without battery, so it is definitely going to be the most expensive option for a middleweight 4S monster truck. I don't think there's anything out there even close price-wise, so it is very expensive. Now, the way I rank value is actually based not on the performance or durability or any of those other categories. It's really about what you're getting in the box as opposed to what you actually pay. So if Tekno just shipped me like a gold bar in the box for $450, I'd give it a really high value rating, even though the rest of the vehicle, it may not even drive, right? A gold bar does not make for a very good RC car, but if you're getting that value in the box with the parts that actually are included, then you could get actually a pretty good score. So $450 is quite expensive. Of course, I'm not gonna, say it's not or anything, but when you consider the other vehicles out there, so a typical 10 scale short course truck, let's say the SCT4 10.3 four-wheel drive, it's about $360, $370. Now for the ET48.3, I think it was about $550. It's been discontinued, so it's pretty much priced competitively, or sort of average right in between those two. So $450 for super premium high quality kit made in Taiwan. The machining and all the parts is super high quality. The steels, the plastics, everything they use, the anodization even is cut above what you normally get in an RTR. So in the value category, I actually think it's a pretty decent value. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It costs about what it should be for this type of vehicle. The only real competitor to this was like the Pro MT 4x4. I think at the end of its life it was like $300, but sort of when it was first introduced, I think it was like $350, $370, so a little bit more than that, but I do think the quality of this vehicle is higher. So in the value category, I'm actually going to give it 3 stars. It's not great, obviously, it is expensive, but I do think you get what you pay for in the box, even though you have to add all those additional components. So final thoughts on the Tekno MT410. It is a fabulous vehicle. If you ignore the price, it pretty much knocks it out of the park in every single category. Best handling, best driving, most plush suspension vehicle I've owned in this 4S class. Durability wise, again, it is top of class, 5 stars, extremely durable. Pretty close to the Max. I don't know which one is more durable. I'll have to put some more months or even years on this thing to find out in the end, is it more durable than Max, but it is extremely durable. Now there are a lot of other option parts out there from MTC Racing, like different chassis, different shock tires, different bracing, all that kind of stuff, but I haven't felt like I needed any of that stuff. This chassis is still straight. Everything has been holding up. Plastics are amazing. So this thing has held up durability wise. Build, design, again, top of class, really good build, design wise, tons and tons of adjustments. That to me is actually probably one of the highlights of this vehicle, as well as it drives, as durable as it is. You can actually tune it to get it even better. So you can get it to drive exactly how you want. If there's something you don't like about the steering, or the amount of wheeling it does, or the amount of endos, or the amount of rotation in the airs, you can tune all that stuff with a lot of adjustments, and I'll be putting out another video talking about my tuning adjustments I've made to this to get it to drive better. But even out of the box, still one of the best handling vehicles I've ever driven, certainly for a monster truck. So conclusion wise, I think value wise is really going to be the only area that might concern people. I think $450 is actually pretty fair for this vehicle, but obviously when you add all the electronics and everything, you're going to be spending a fair amount of dollars, $750. On the other hand, a lot of people take like an Armored Creighton 6S at $550 and spend like another $500 or $600 worth of stuff, and are spending over $1,000 and not necessarily even really driving much better than this. So I do think the value is fair, but obviously that is up to your personal opinion on how much you want to spend on a vehicle. So overall, conclusion wise, is this the best monster truck on the market today? I think for me, it probably is. I mean, it just kicks butt. This is probably my new go-to vehicle over the Max now. The Max It is an awesome truck, but doesn't handle quite as well. I'm not sure it's more durable, and fun-wise, I actually think this beats it. So performance, everything, just it is outstanding. I give this thing full marks. Overall rating is going to be 5 stars. There's really almost no weakness of this vehicle other than maybe, you know, you might have to spend a few $100s more than its next competitor. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely check out Euro RC. We got that 5% off coupon code if you want to pick up the Tekno MT410. Definitely look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.